IVM.
Namaskar, dear friend. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi, and good to see you here on Begin the Journey. Last week, I was in a beautiful place called Dharampur. It's close to Shimla in Himachal Pradesh, and it's a place where my dear friends Amla and Sunil have built their own beautiful house. I spent quite a bit of time there. And guess what? Each morning, afternoon, evening, at night, I used to look at the sky. And the sky looked especially magical at nights when I could see the stars. And something amazing happened for me, and I want to share that magical experience with you. As I was looking up to the stars, I realized, you know what? A similar set of stars I used to watch years back when I was in Delhi, when I used to sleep on the terrace of our rented house at Karol Bagh, and my father used to explain to me Saptarishi and the amazing constellations that could be seen. Yes, there I was in Delhi, looking up at the skies, probably a 5-year-old, and my father was sharing with me not just stars, but allowing me to dream. Today too, I look at the stars. I was looking at the Saptarishi and I was dreaming. Something struck me, dear friend. Each one of us, we are at different points of life, in different towns, villages. We are in megapolis, in different countries, different stages of our career. But for each of us, from wherever we are, the sky is equidistant, my friend. The stars that we see are equidistant from each one of us. Remember, dear friend, the stars that we see are equidistant from where we are seeing them from. Dreams are much like that. We may come from very different backgrounds, but that star wish that we have, that thing that we really wish to achieve, it is achievable. We are not going to be determined by just where we are. We are only going to be determined by our meteoric, and I really mean it, meteoric desire to do something spectacular. As I lay down on the charpai at Dharampur, and as I was staring at the sky, I realized that yes, there are dreams for people in villages, in towns, in cities. Yes, it seems more difficult for small towns and villages. Maybe it seems so much more challenging. But you know what? It's up to us, dear friend. Are we going to be determined by our challenges? Are we going to have a valid reason for not achieving our dreams? You know what? Just like some people have a challenge just because where they are placed, some of us have challenges because of our age. We say, hey, listen, the time has passed. I can't do it now. Remember, my friend, as I looked at the sky, I realized as long as I'm alive, I have another series of opportunities for a moonshot. Why a moonshot? Even a star shot. Remember, it is our life. It doesn't matter where we are at this moment. What really matters is where we wish to head. And I want to wish each one of us a star-lit sky which you can aspire for, want to really achieve in your life. It may seem very distant, maybe even dreamy, but I promise you, dear friends, this star shot, this moonshot is available to us in your career, in your relationships, in the things that you really, really pine for in your life. Because one day we will die, and then we will have no fear of failure. But till then, as long as we live, let's put aside our fear of failure. Let's put aside our fear. What will people think, or what will people say if I try this? Because I have that fear each day. I choose to get inspired each day, because I have found that my life and my day and my dreams bring a smile to my face. So that evening in Dharampur, as I looked at the sky, I was reminded of the 5-year-old who was dreaming with his father by his side. Today, my father is somewhere else. But I know that I dream, and I know that my son dreams too. He's far away from me in Berkeley, California. And like many of us, we may be separated from our loved ones, but we can at least assure each other that we can dream and then go for fulfilling it. Dear friends, the stars are equidistant for each one of us. Let's not give up on ourselves because of our position, because of where we are placed, or even how we are aging. Life is there, and till we are alive, we have a chance for that moonshot or that star shot. I would love to hear your thoughts as you share your dreams and create something amazing, spectacular in your life, knowing one life, and you will not give up on that. Al Shukran Bandhu, Al Shukran Zindagi. Thank you for being with me on Begin the Journey. Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Want to wish you all a happy Diwali. Hope you had a great festive season. It's been a great week in terms of the kinds of guests we've had and the kind of conversations we've had on the network this week. Do definitely check some of these things out. On This Round's on Me with Gauri Devidayal, she had a great conversation with Garima Arora, who's one of the best-known chefs in the world. It was just absolutely riveting. Do check that out. On States of Anarchy, Hamsini Hariharan spoke about chronicling India's different wars. Again, really interesting episode. Check that out. Ashton had a very interesting episode on his show, The Habit Coach. It was called I Don't Feel Like Doing Anything. It's about how to overcome malaise just generally, and I thought really, really interesting stuff. Kumi Vayana was the guest on Cyrus Says on Monday's episode last week, and she's an educator, and my God, it was such a fascinating conversation talking about the way education functions in India and some of the changes she'd like to see. Just really, really interesting stuff. Do give that a listen. On Uncle Please Sit, Anupam Manur was there with Joel and Tushar talking about the Indian economy, part 1 of a 2-part series. Second part will be out this week. You should definitely check that out. Lastly, I want to talk to you all about the Filter Coffee podcast. Karthik Nagarajan, who hosts that show, is on a little bit of a break. He's back with a banger of an episode. It is with Himura Maya, who used to run Landmark Stores, and they talk about the culture of bookstores and quizzing and all kinds of stuff. Really interesting conversation. Do check that out. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
Remember the last vacation you took? What about the one you took 3 years ago? Okay, how much do you really remember? It's a question I've asked myself often over a decade of traveling the world. Hey, I'm Utsav, and I do not travel the world for a living. I have a full-time job and responsibilities, but I have made traveling the world a priority. Priority enough that I negotiate extra leave in my job contracts, obsessively track my frequent flyer miles, and I'm willing to take off at the sight of a cheap ticket. Yes, I am cheap. I have lived and worked in 3 countries. I understand human behavior for a living. And these experiences have given me unique insights into places, people, and culture. With over a decade of travel behind me, I increasingly realized one thing, that we cannot see everything. So whatever we see, we must see deeply. Because as the film of memory decays, the imprints which will stand the test of time are the ones felt by the immersion of the senses, not by fleeting encounters with them. Postcards from Nowhere is an immersion into the world of slow travel, one story at a time. Tune in every Thursday on the IVM Podcasts app, website, or wherever you get your podcast from.